Welcome, everybody. My name is Marilyn Burnett, and I'm back again with the messages for the week of November 25th, which is a big week as usual, including Thanksgiving. So thank you to all who are listening this week. And it's Mercury Retrograde kicking off on Monday, and it's a new moon in Sagittarius, so we have a lot to cover. If you want to make sure that you're always up to date on all of my content, please click on the subscribe button below. That way you'll be notified every time I post new content. And this week, this is my new addition to my office. Dun, dun, dun. There it is. Nice and cozy for the winter. Had to build that this week. My body is still thanking me. All right, so hopefully you're okay with me blending my Thanksgiving and my Christmas weeks, but Thanksgiving's so late this year that I didn't want to wait. So I even have my little Charlie Brown Christmas tree back here. So we're ready. Hope you are too. So with that, let's get started so that I have time to give you the breakdown by sign for what these new beginnings could mean, with a little bit of a review, right? Because we have Mercury retrograde going on at the same time. So on Monday, using the AstroGold software, we kick off with the formation of a kite. So if you've been following me, we've talked about this in the past. And those of you who have planets, personal planets, rising signs close to and around the 5 degrees will probably notice this, and others may not feel it or notice anything at all. But a kite, I always feel, is a huge opportunity created by tension, which you see is the red line there. And we have to do the work, like to pull up a kite into the sky. There has to be tension, right? That is what forces this to rise. So you have an opportunity to rise this week. And it may be tied to the past because of the fact that as this happens, we're also going to have Mercury turn retrograde on Monday. So North Node and South Node, fate, destiny, karma, dharma, those are the things that are creating the tension. Relationships are creating tension. So we have the North Node in Aries. This is our work that we've been doing since July of 2023 on ourselves, on what we want, what we desire, having good, healthy boundaries. And we've been moving away from Libra, things that are unjust and unfair and unbalanced, especially in our relationships and legally as well. But the moon plays a role. So the moons are emotions, what we need. And again, we need some emotional stability. But there may be a relationship that we count on for emotional stability that we have to move away from, that we have to let go of because it's become too much of a security blanket. And that means we're not relying enough on our own strengths. So it could be a woman in a legal role that is creating a lot of tension. Somebody in a legal role that as a woman could have to step down. That's from the collective energy. And then I gave you the examples for what you personally might be experiencing. But we have a lot of support. And it's the positive energy that you're paying attention to, especially because that means this positive energy is also speaking with the nodes. Mars, something you love, something you're passionate about in the sign of Leo, right? That you really, truly love. You need to take action, fated action. So opportunities are presenting themselves to you right now, especially again, those with these early degree energies. And you don't want to miss out on this. It might take work to get it done, but it's fated work. So again, you don't want to let this slide. You don't want to let this slip away like the string of a kite and it suddenly is taking off uncontrollably. You want to have control of whatever this opportunity is. And so Mars speaks in harmony with the moon, with the south node, with the sun, with the nodes. And that means there's also this grand fire trine again, which is a huge opportunity, something that can create great success as long as you make the effort. So I'm really curious what this looks like on Monday for us as a collective, especially with the fact that Mercury is now gone as far forward as it's going to and is about to turn retrograde. So you've got to look back over the past 3 weeks. What have you been seeing? What have you been doing? What have you been exploring more? Somehow out of that exploration is a big opportunity, right? Sagittarius is things that are big, they're growing, they're expanding, they're exciting, right? But something about the opportunity you have to slow down a bit and take a closer look at. And so for the next 3 weeks, you're going to explore what that is. And as you explore, we're also going to have Mercury Cazimi on December 5th. So there could be a big aha moment as a result of this work. So as usual, all the things, they're working together and tied together, but something that you make an effort to lift off this week could end up being really impactful for years to come. So that is Monday. Let us move on to Tuesday. All right, so Tuesday, you don't see the red line just because it doesn't show for the nodes, but they're still there. Mars is still there. The sun is still there. The only thing that's moved on is the moon, but we're still seeing this opportunity, this faded opportunity on Tuesday. So again, it may not be something that's just quick and easy to just, pull that kite up into the sky and get running. There's some work to do with it. Today, we see that work in a unique way. So again, there's this feminine energy still that's being highlighted. Today, it is Venus in Capricorn, which is a woman in a leadership role, a government role, that has something unusual to share with us as this inconjunct, this green line of energy connects the two benefic planets. So there is a strange or hidden blessing that comes as a result of something else that is challenging because we have a T-square. So we have Venus at the top of the T-square. This is where the action happens, the release happens, and the pressure is between the moon in Libra and that Chiron in Aries. So there's still something that's causing us not to have faith in ourselves, not to believe that we are strong enough to accomplish something. The moon is saying, no, we need a relationship, a partner in order to accomplish this. Chiron in Aries is saying, no, we don't. I can do this on my own. And then Venus is somehow a peacemaker between all of this conflict. And then there's Jupiter in there lending a hand, also a very peaceful energy with a calming voice, right? Answers of some kind. And of course, Jupiter is also retrograde. So another insightful day, while, of course, we have Mercury now showing on the screen anyway, as also being retrograde. So the review period is done. Now, I don't know what this will have to do with the election itself, but keep in mind 3 weeks ago, as we were moving forward, is just about the time of the election. So there could be something coming up that is being reviewed at this time, or it could be, Trump's cabinet selections, all kinds of connections into that election are going to be up for discussion over these next 3 weeks. And then the 3 weeks following as we get ready to move forward with whatever we uncover over these next 3 weeks. Okay. We'll see what that is. All right. So then when we move to the next day, we still will see on Wednesday that Venus and Chiron now are exactly square one another. Now the moon's moved on a bit, still in Libra, still trying to bring some emotional stability of some kind. And that kite formation's still out there. And then here's Venus in Capricorn trying to bring some stability with this painful event that there's a change that has to happen. This woman maybe has to make a change because of this painful event. Mars, Aries energy could be a man that has done something wrong to a woman. Whatever this conflict is, it's very masculine, feminine in its energy. And it's painful, but once we face the pain and heal, we become stronger from it. So again, if you have personal planets at 19 degrees, you're going to notice this conflict within you as well. So that is Wednesday. And then happy Thanksgiving to all of those who celebrate here in America, and try to find at least one thing that you can be thankful for today. But I'm sure there's more than that. And again, I'm just expressing my thankfulness for each and every one of you for sharing your time with me every week. It's really, really appreciated. So just a moment to go back and say thank you. On Friday, that, Mercury's cruising right along. It started at 22. It's already back to 21. So whatever this is, it's moving through its review period pretty quickly. You'll also see some emotional surprises, potentially, some kind of secrets being stirred up because of the moon in Scorpio in an opposition to Uranus and Taurus. Uranus is things that shock us and surprise us. Again, in Taurus, it could be any Venus themes, money, women, love, beauty, valuables. So there could be some kind of emotional, shocking event that occurs on Friday. Through Saturday, and here we are beginning this energy of this new moon, but it's technically, I'm going to move this forward, happening on Sunday in the early morning hours. So here we go. All right. So depending on where you live, this new moon energy could happen at the very end of the night on the 30th, or obviously the morning of December 1st. So this is Sagittarius, right? It's joyful, it's hopeful, it is seeing the silver lining, right? And it's an opportunity to move something forward. Now, it could be something that we're moving forward that involves foreign people, foreign countries, right? It's a big growth opportunity. This is fire energy. So that helps us, right? Find our passion again. And as the moon and the sun come together each month to create a new moon, right? It's an emotional reset. The moon is being cleansed each month by the sun. It is a blank slate and an emotional reset for us. And that reset has to do with the Sagittarius topics that I mentioned. And while this new event is happening, we of course also have Mercury being retrograde in the same sign. So there's something about the new beginning for you that we have to go back over. We have to consider something from the past that we thought we knew and take another look at it. A deep second look at it, as a matter of fact, where we really have to slow down. And I can tell you, because Mercury's going retrograde in the sign that we consider it to be at fall or detriment, it doesn't do well here because there's too much information. It can be overwhelming. And so for the next 3 weeks, you want to be really patient and slow down, because there will be mix-ups, there will be miscommunications. Transportation can be really difficult and challenging and stressful. So you want to make sure, giving yourself plenty of time and just packing your patience. So, of course, this is happening over the big Thanksgiving travel weekend. So, again, be prepared. I always tell people you can travel, but expect the unexpected when you're doing so. Expect plans to change and times to change, and then you're not upset and frustrated about the changes that may be happening. So that is the biggest pieces going on during this time. And we're still slowly seeing Mars move forward, but it's slowing down because on December 6th, it goes retrograde as well. So I guarantee you, nothing is moving forward very quickly when you have both Mars, which is action, aggressiveness, motivation, is slowing down, and Mercury, also travel, slowing down, going backwards. Like, you have to expect for sure over the next 3 weeks. And then keep in mind, Mars is retrograde until February, almost the end of February. So of course you're going to do things between now and then. But if you notice as you're trying to push to start new things that you're getting hit with lots of doors and walls, you need to slow down and not try to break through or push through those. But at the time of the new moon, keep that in mind as you're setting your new intentions. There may be things that you're going back over to consider at this time. And so I mentioned, we had that grand fire trine that was stronger earlier in the week. It still exists. These connections are just wider, more subtle because of the distance in degrees between the planets involved. But again, there is an opportunity here based on the past that you want to slow down and take a closer look at. The other thing that gets activated, of course, the North Node in Aries, Mars in Leo, and then these two fire planets. And the moon, that's a lot of fire, right? There's a lot of passion going on. But I want to call your attention to something that's starting that's very subtle. And that is this Pluto energy in Aquarius, right? Trying to bring people together, trying to unite the collective, but showing us a reason why we should, right? Maybe exposing something. And the exposure's faded because of the fact that this is a countdown between the South Node in Libra and Pluto in Aries. So this air sign, this information that unites us, maybe a legal issue, maybe it's a relationship that's caught our attention, right? And the North Node. So this is fate working behind the scenes, beneath the surface, through power, through fear, through the collective, that will go on from literally now until they switch signs, the nodes, January 11th. Pluto work doesn't show up big and in your face, right? It's not a personal planet. It's an outer planet. So this is internal work. And again, Pluto, ruler of the underworld, it's things that happen in places that you don't know or see. But there's a lot of stuff about to get exposed, maybe electronically, between now and mid-January. So we'll see what that happens to be. And maybe, like I said, at the time of this new moon, at the time Mars goes retrograde, maybe it's the Mercury Cazimi coming up as Mercury heads back towards the sun. And of course, the moon, as it moves forward quicker, is going to have that first conversation with Mercury in retrograde. So the past is coming up for review. There's no escaping it at all. Of course, if you want a little different breakdown about this event, go check out my written article on my website, MarilynBurnett.com. I'll also include a link to that here in the comment section. It just gives you another breakdown, another perspective of how to look at things. And of course, it's going to give you the breakdown that I'm going to give you right now by sign for what new intentions you can set. Now, every new moon, you can sit down and write out 10 new moon intentions. And since this is a fire sign, I always recommend you work with fire when you do it. You could speak your intentions into a candle. You can write them down and burn them safely. I always say safely. You could sit like me by my little fireplace and write them out, but something with the element of fire helps add that energy into creating and manifesting what it is that you're hoping for. And remember, when you write out manifestations, don't start at the very end of what you want. Start with, what do I need to change within myself to be in alignment with what I want? That has to be in there somewhere, because if you could have it and you were already in alignment with it, you'd already have it. You have to make some changes in order for these new beginnings to happen. All right, so let's do a breakdown. And whether it happens on Saturday or Sunday isn't as important as where you live, making sure that you do your intentions within about an 8-hour window of the event. Sometimes I think it's better that you do it after, but remember, just do them. The event is the most important, but do this either Saturday night or Sunday morning, depending on where you live, and you should still be in alignment. Do it at exactly the new moon time, even better. But I'm tired at night, so I don't know if that's going to work for me. All right, so let me pull out my list here, and we will run down quickly for each sign where you want to focus your intentions for the new beginning. So we always get started with Aries. So we will start with that now. Aries, your new beginning is going to be in the 9th house, of course, because you're the first house, and Sagittarius is the 9th house. So in the 9th house, which is Sagittarius energy, it's all the things that we've been talking about. You could decide you want to study abroad, move abroad. You may want to go to law school. You may get into law school, right? There's anything to do with the 9th house. There could be something to do with publishing, something where you're growing and expanding whatever it is you are focused on. This can be a very spiritual time for you. You can engage in taking classes or courses that are aligned with spirituality. And again, as I mentioned, you could just be signing up to go to law school. All right. Okay, Aries. So then let's look at Taurus. So Taurus, here we're looking at the 8th house. The 8th house is about death and rebirth and transformation. It also can be a new beginning that involves finances that you get from other resources besides your job. Not money that you create directly, money that you could get from an inheritance, from your spouse, from your partner. A loan, an investment, a return of some kind can come to you as a result of this new beginning. All right, Gemini. This happens for you in your 7th house. So this is a new beginning that involves a serious commitment, which can be marriage. It could be a business partner. It could be a strong friendship, right? Something that the two of you commit to together is where this new opportunity takes you. You could decide to take a foreign trip with a good friend or your husband or wife or partner, right? Anything to do with quick movement, something that you're both passionate about. And again, marriage and commitment is one of those opportunities as well. Cancer. So Cancer, in your 6th house, this is a new opportunity that can involve your health, right? It's also your work and your day-to-day life. So you could take on a new huge opportunity, right? Jupiter expands on whatever it touches. And if you've been trying to get healthier, this can be an opportunity where a wise teacher, Jupiter, crosses paths with you to help you resolve a major health issue. All right. Let's look at Leo. So Leo, a fellow fire sign, means this energy is something of a trine. A trine is energy that we always want to take advantage of. It doesn't just land in our laps. So for you, this is in your 5th house. This could be a new romantic opportunity for you. This is, of course, the house that Leo rules over is the 5th house. So this is something that you really, really love, like romance. Now, it also is a house that rules children. So this could be an opportunity to have a baby, to get pregnant. If you don't want that, use precaution. And then it is something about hobbies. So it's anything that you're passionate about, things that speak to the heart. If you've been feeling listless, right, then there's this breakthrough opportunity for you this week, Leos. All right, then we're going to move on to Virgo. Virgo, this is in your 4th house, which is home and family. So it's a new opportunity for something to start at home. Could be a new opportunity to be a mom, to get into a new home, to put something new in your home. It could be moving, right, to a foreign country. Again, that's Sagittarius energy. Or it could be going back to school, but doing it from home, because the Sagittarius energy is about gaining knowledge. So it could be gaining knowledge about your family, history, ancestry as well. It's giving me something to think about. All right, Libras, your 3rd house. So 3rd house is about a new beginning in your community. It could be a new beginning with your siblings, your cousins, extended family members. You could be looking for a new car, but I don't recommend it just because of Mercury Retrograde. So, but exploring your community in some new way, expanding the community that you're a part of, are all potentials for this 3rd house new beginning for you, Libras. All right. I just realized I'm kind of cutting off the bottom of this, but this is Scorpio. So Scorpios, we are talking about 2nd house opportunities. And the 2nd house, this is a new opportunity that can be a moneymaker for you. So this is a growth opportunity for you, of course, with that Sagittarius energy. It is something that you might really feel challenged because it pushes you outside of your comfort zone to do. Could be involved in some foreign people, foreign places, higher education of some kind. Maybe you decide to go back to school in order to improve your current money opportunities where you work, because the 2nd house is all about the money that we make. So there's a big money making opportunity, but it challenges you in some way. Then, of course, we'll have Sagittarius. And again, Sagittarius, this is a pretty big deal. It's your once a year time to shine, time to focus on yourself, time to reset your personal goals. Again, you always are learning. You're a voracious reader and learner. And something about, of course, Mercury being retrograde in your sign says there's something you want to go back over. Maybe there's a goal you had for yourself in the past that you've kind of let slide, and you've let maybe other people's priorities get in the way. So now you can go back and start over and give yourself permission to start over, and then get yourself to be where you wanted to be all along. All right, moving on to Capricorns. So Capricorn, in your 12th house, this is something that could be very subtle. It's beneath the surface. It could be working with the subconscious mind to expand and grow, right? Break free from your fears. It can also be a time where you might reconnect with a large organization from the past, like a school, right? 12th house could be an university, something where you go back to get an advanced degree, or you go back to work for a large organization, and maybe they have some kind of ties to education or some kind of ties to foreign countries. But it's a big opportunity, so explore it. And if it's not the opportunity, it's just getting clear of all the junk in your subconscious mind, do that too, and set the intention to do it. All right, then that moves us to Aquarius. And Aquarius, this then happens in your 11th house. This is a new opportunity to connect and make new friends. And especially friends that are like-minded and have a shared passion of some kind. And again, this new group that you become a part of helps you grow and expand and do something more purposeful than you have been doing so far. And just having more friends wherever you're going in the next week, it's pretty spot on to say that your friend group is about to grow in a big way. All right. And then didn't mean to change that. Last but not least, see, it's Mercury retrograde, and I swear to God, I've been having technical difficulties all day just connecting to it. So be warned. Pisces, this is happening in your 10th house. So that's all about your career, your status, your reputation, your fame, right? What are you most famous for? There's something that you're going to start. And as a result of the Sagittarius energy, it may really grow into something huge. So don't hold back, right? Don't be the people pleaser that gets out of the way so other people can pursue their dreams. No, this is about you pursuing your dreams and allowing yourself to really go big this time and enjoy it. And again, who do you know from the past that you worked with that you may be connecting with now? All right. That is a quick rundown. As I mentioned, you can go watch the tarot card reading that I do every week to see what's the corresponding cards to this astro lesson. And of course, always listen to them for your sun, moon, and rising sign to get a really full picture of what the messages are. You can also go out and read my article. Of course, you have to go out to my website and subscribe, and you'll get the article for this new moon in Sagittarius emailed to you directly. And I don't spam you, and I don't send 10,000 emails out. So, but if you want to easily find content, go out there and know that it'll just pop into your inbox whenever you need it. And you can, of course, book a session with me. I have the article out there for 2025, which is all about the shifts and changes that are coming. 2025 is unlike any year that we've ever experienced before. Everything is changing and shifting. All the outer planets are changing and shifting. And that means the collective is going through a huge change and huge shifts. And I can tell you that the eclipse in March is intriguing, maybe a bit shocking. Oh, anyway, don't get me started on all this, but I think I'll come back and do a video where I talk about what 2025 has in store and talk to you about booking the session with me, which is a 2-hour session where we look at the worksheet that goes along with the session, where I've already gone through and outlined all of the changes for the planets for the entire year, including their retrograde phases. And then what I do with the session is look at your personal chart and then outline a big change that you will be working on in the year ahead. Plus, we have Mercury retrogrades as normal. Then we also have Venus and Mars retrogrades, right? That happen next year. What's interesting about the Venus and Mercury retrograde is that they're happening as we have Neptune changing signs and the nodes changing signs and an eclipse in the sign of Aries. All this space between the new beginnings of Aries and the endings, which is Pisces, 12th house. It's like we've got this back and forth going on. Do we want to start something new? Or are we going back to conclude something? And as these two, Mercury and Venus, cross paths together on the retrograde journey, it's not something we're doing alone. The work is not something we're doing alone next year at all. So anyway, I can go on and on, but I'll do that in a separate video. But if you want to know personally, hey, where is all this change that's going on in the collective going to impact me, right? And we'll talk about it. Where is it happening that Neptune's changing signs, Uranus is changing signs, Jupiter is changing signs, Pluto just changed signs, Saturn is changing signs, right? Every outer planet is changing signs in the same year. Unheard of. unheard of. And the nodes are changing signs. It's a lot of change. If you don't like change, if it makes you uncomfortable, you're going to have to learn how to get comfortable with the uncomfortable next year, because nothing is going to stay the same. It just isn't. All right. Whew. Lots of exciting change coming. Change is good. That's been my mantra. You might want to adopt it. And we'll see how we do through all the changes. All right. I think that is everything. Let me just take a quick peek at officially Sunday to see if I have missed anything else that I want to call out on this day. The only other thing that'll benefit us, and it will be going on also at the time of the new moon, but exact, will be Mercury and Chiron coming back together again. So again, as Mercury moves forward, we got a preview of what this might be. Is there some ideas? There's some information that could help you heal or help you become more confident. Well, as Mercury comes back here, it's coming up again. And like I said, the moon quickly passes the sun and starts talking with Mercury right away. So again, when Mercury's the mind and the moon's your intuition, and the two work together, like you can get the big picture about something, again, related to the past, maybe a past wound or painful event that is coming up. And as it does on Sunday, we'll also see Uranus talking with Venus. So again, women in government might really shock and surprise us in some way. We may have thought something was done that suddenly it isn't, and chaos ensues. But it's a trine, right? It's helpful. Whatever it is, the event is helpful for us all. Okay, we shall see. Then, as we move into next week, we will start to see, as I mentioned, that energy between the nodes and Pluto is going to be growing. We're going to see more of the Mercury retrograde. And then again, as we get to the 5th, this is where we're going to see something maybe really shocking. It could be something shocking from a foreign country, foreign leader. So around November, I think it was the 13th, was when Mercury came through here first, but of course not with the sun. So we saw on the political stage announcements of some of Trump's cabinet members. We saw Trump and President Biden meeting. So something about those events could come up in some kind of a shocking way. And keep in mind, as they do this, they are opposed by Jupiter, which makes whatever this Kazemi event is even bigger and more explosive. So we'll break that down next week. All right. I feel like I've talked way too much. I'm sorry if I've took too much of your time, but thanks for hanging in there with me. And I will be back again next week to talk about all the breakdowns, including Mars going retrograde on December 6th. So the year's not over yet. We're not slowing down anytime soon. We still have a lot of work to do, and I'm here to help and guide you. So thanks for sharing time with me. Hope you have a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving, and I will talk with you again next week. Take care, everybody. Be sure and check out your weekly tarot card messages as well. Those, along with this astro lesson, are going to give you the big picture. Thanks again for tuning in. Talk to you next week.